As we look, for example, at Bill's photos, he took those, by the way, about an hour from here, about an hour and a half from here. There's something about those photos in contrast to the types of things that come up when you zoom in on the rocks here. But all around us, these mountains, this water, there's something more mystical about this part of Colorado than other places. The Four Corners in general, it has to do with prior cataclysms, maybe even the fall of Atlantis. And the more I look really close at some of the images in the rocks, I see evidence of a fallen world. And it's not so much about convincing others, it's about what does it mean for us and our souls with this knowledge that currently, right now, we're in this form, but what type of reality did we experience before? And just because there are forces of power and technology that can move Earth, that can harness the elemental forces, the elements, doesn't mean that's a true God. So there's also a fair amount of speculation with regards to what was good and what was evil, with regards to the cataclysm and who was who, next to the many Inky-like deities that we can see around the world. Probably most interesting of all, though, and I'll show you the photographs more detailed in another video, is the idea of Egyptian symbolism in the rocks, as well as things that look Incan, as well as Mayan, as well as things that look like they are Hindu. But when you really go back far enough, there really isn't such a separation. It is said that the Hopi learned the word Om from the Hindus in the American Southwest, and some believe that there has been some travel in the past between certain entities or certain types of old world religions and North America earlier than what most people assume. There's an earlier history to North America. And the reason I'm here, some people also ask the question, well, how can knowledge just travel around the world so quickly? What's interesting about the site that's close to here, it's about 15 miles from here, even though it was a Native American site, when you look closer at the statue, again, it looks like it is a remnant of a fallen world, maybe even Atlantis, a world in which the goddess existed and the goddess was respected. So here we are today, taking a look at some of that symbolism and doing some research online, and there could be something deep beneath our feet. And this still could be a place of transport. Who knows? Maybe the locals here have stories about UFOs going in and out of this lake. So I'm about out of battery power here, which concludes what I'm saying with you now. But I will be showing other content. I ask the spirits, of course, for assistance in sharing the knowledge, but also the wisdom and discernment to know what not to share also. I take all those things into consideration, and I consider this information sacred, especially what I've discovered about the protective attributes of some of these deities that were prayed to at the mountain. For example, the Hopi returned during World War II to do a ceremony very close to here when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, which is interesting because around the same time period, the 1940s, Dion Fortune was doing her own ritual as the Nazis were approaching the UK. So there could be a time on our planet where there are different protective rituals and prayers going on at the same time. And those prayers can't be fused together. We're really dealing with thought forms. It's really important to know what you're dealing with, because if people choose to tap into those thought forms and disrespect the spirits, well, then there could be bad luck for the village. And I think history has shown that there's been a fair amount of bad luck that has come upon civilizations that have misused the technology and misused the minerals and misused the elements and the elemental forces. You know, it's interesting, the sun, the water, and the earth and the air, they are all used to create, but they can also be used to destroy. And there could be forces of intelligence that can masquerade as gods by learning how to manipulate those very technologies. The other thing that comes up with regards to Atlantis, we ask ourselves the question, Well, what did those other forms of life do wrong that were turned to stone? Why did they all have to perish? Was that the true God? Or was that the invasion of the earth? Was that the beginning of the end of the goddess and the feminine within us all? Because we hear about this great catastrophe that happened and how it's affected our world today, our relationships, our brains, everything. And sure, there's cause for concern. I came here literally to survive what's to come. And there may be something coming, but we can also be tapping into the energies and the memories of what already has been. I'm gonna pause right here and I'm gonna go back and get my camera. And then we're going to follow the yellow brick road and see where the rest of this takes us. You see, also when you look at these mountains, try to look at the mountains with new eyes. I saw a number of videos that were kind of highlighting what we really could be looking at is fallen giants that fell in different ways with different parts of their bodies standing up. So we could be literally looking at a face without even knowing it. And so there is something, by the way, about this spot. We are near New Mexico. And once you go further into New Mexico, you can go online and type in alien worlds. And it's not just there, but also in Utah and other places. You have like giant petrified mushrooms, right? Petrified mushrooms. What did they do to anybody? It's not necessarily that they did something wrong. It's that something happened in the past that altered our world. And religions have come about to tell the story a particular way. And that's what's really important, to know that you need to have discernment.